Hi guys and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin and this is episode 34. Binance plagiarizes BitMEX, Ripple hires Ron Hammond, and crypto players they're basically crypto players are in central banks crosshairs, right? So guys, if you are catching this stream live, welcome, and if you are catching the replay and have any suggestions, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you think. Now, if you want to keep up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure you subscribe. You hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. We're live every day, and if you haven't done it yet, you should do it, right? Hit that subscribe and that bell. Give us a thumbs up also, right? We really like likes. Now, if you want to keep on chatting once the stream is on, you can join us in the Discord. The link's in the description. We are always trying to post updates on Discord throughout the day as things develop, right? Anyways, guys, thank you all for being here, man. Soka, thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. I hope your meeting was well yesterday. And if there's anyone else on the chat watching us, manifest yourself so we know you're here. And then we can also chat with you as well. Anyways, let's get on to the news, right? Anyways, Elliptic. Hey, it's a London-based startup that sells blockchain solutions, basically analytic tools, to some of the world's largest cryptocurrency platforms, right? Including Binance and Circle, as well as some banks. Now, the company software is used to investigate criminal activity on Bitcoin's digital ledger and monitor transactions to prevent money laundering. The company recently, they're the guys that came out with the news that the Al-Qassam brigades were seeking donations of Bitcoin through the website, right? That's what they did. And we reported that article a couple days ago. Now, the firm said on Wednesday that they raised 23 million in funding from a round led by Japan's SBI Holdings, right? And if we remember, Japan's SBI Holdings, it's working with Ripple. That's because they want to fund an aggressive expansion in Asia, primarily Singapore, I think. And, well, terrorist funding is just one of the areas that they cover. They also deal with, or they use it to track people trading, right? Child pornography, or other drugs, as well as hacks that result in funds being stolen, right? That's what they basically do. Now, we have two articles that we're going to do right now, and they're kind of polarizing. One of them is regarding a country that's banning crypto, and the other one is regarding a country that's basically making crypto its currency, right? Or a form of crypto its currency. Right, so the first article, right? Burundi has banned the trading of digital currencies due to lack of protection to the public. The government was urged to take action after some citizens in the country lost money while dealing with digital currencies. They lost it trading. Now, Alfred Neobiumusi, that's a really weird name. I completely butchered it, man. Anyways, a director at the Central Bank's of Microfinance Department said that strong measures could be taken against all those who do not respect this decision, right? On opposite news, right? David Paul, the minister in assistance to the presidents of the Marshall Islands, published an essay explaining the country's national cryptocurrency project, the Marshallese Sovereign. Now, that's ahead of the Invest Asia 2019 conference. The Marshall Islands has passed a Sovereign Currency Act in 2018, declaring its interest to release its new national digital currency. The nation has been independent since 1979, but have been using the US dollar as the official currency for all payments, debts, public charges, taxes, and dues. Now, in the essay, he wrote, basically, Minister Paul outlined that the island's choice to issue a second legal tender based on blockchain technology was based on a conviction that centralized solutions are not workable in a country of little over 50,000 people spread across 1,000 Pacific islands, right? Imagine having to print it all and then distributing it to everyone on those islands, right? I mean, it would be a nightmare. And then, probably not very functional, right? At least if you're carrying digital currency, you're just carrying a sort of token or cell phone or something with you. You don't have to be carrying money with you when you're traveling. It makes it a little bit more convenient, let's say. Anyways, beyond decentralization, blockchain offers the country the possibility of having compliance, basically into the cryptocurrency protocol itself, while maintaining privacy for the individuals. Minister Paul also stated, and I'm going to quote him here, "We choose to create a fixed money supply with fixed growth because fiat currencies can be remarkably unstable. The policies of major central banks are not reassuring, as the gold and Bitcoin prices attest. We as government need to take more sustainable approach to money and not treat it as a limitless resource." And that is very interesting. It certainly seems to hit the nail on the head, right? Money is not an infinite resource, and it should not just be printed whenever you're short or whenever you want to create more supply, creating inflation. And yeah, there's more sustainable ways to do money, right? I mean, think about it. How many metals and paper, well, cotton paper or whatever kind of paper we use when we print money, right? Even plastic for those plastified bills, right? So obviously, digital currencies do solve some other issues as well, and could save up the countries on, like, basically the resources they use to print money. And yeah, go green, basically. Anyways, in other news, the Netherlands bank put certain players on notice, crypto players, that they have until, like, basically 2020 to register, so a couple months, right? That's when they'll become subject to integrity supervision. Like, the bank claimed it was required to start supervising crypto-related businesses under the 5th European Anti-Money Laundering Directive. And basically, despite cryptocurrencies moving closer to mainstream adoption, especially Bitcoin, the central bank remains worried that, like, cryptos all are vulnerable to financial crimes, right? That's what they are stating, right? Now, we're going to go into market cap, but before we do that, I have this funny clip from Spaceballs that we're going to look at, because I just want to I want to drive a point.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
Past that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
I
can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now?
Soon.
How soon?
Sir.
A lot of people are still thinking about getting into cryptos, right? And that is fine. You can still, like, take your time, but a lot of people are going to be left behind because they're just going to keep thinking that when is the best time to get in, right? And, well, right now might not be the best time, but the best time is today. Like, the closest you can get to a good opportunity to get at a good price, that you should take it, right? Because there's no time like today to do things. So don't let the crypto market pass you by, guys. If you want to get in, find a good area of opportunity, a good area of value to get in, and then basically just get in, right? Anyways, we're gonna look real quick at market cap. On the daily, yesterday we had a red day. Remember, yesterday closed 2 hours ago, right? So yesterday, minus 0.74% down. Yesterday closed at $259 billion. Right now, 0.23% down. Sitting at 259.1 billion, right? Bitcoin dominance. Let's look at that, because it just kept on increasing. It was almost at 73%, right? Yesterday, nice green day, 0.46% up. Right now, sitting at 0.04% down. Almost nothing. We still have the rest of the day to basically neutralize it and go up again on dominance. They just started 2 days ago, like we said. On to the price of Bitcoin. What is happening with Bitcoin, right? Well, if you are on the Discord, then you'll probably find that we do post stuff, right? At whenever we see stuff happening. So we are basically always trying to tell you guys what's going on or when we believe moves might happen, right? Anyways, we are still sitting above that in between the 75% and 100% line of that downsloping channel. Sitting above the 20 MA on the daily, making positive momentum still. That crossing of the MACD and the signal line happened, and we still have not made any neutral momentum or decrease right now. So let's see how it plays out, because we're going to see some things on the more micro scales in a second, right? And we're sitting around 53% on the 53 on the RSI, yeah. let's look at the other chart that we look at, right? And we are here. Let's go on the 4 hours. Okay, well, first we'll check where we're at, right? Why I have fibs up because basically I wanted to check some areas of retrace that we hit. We have some volatility open, like I said, sitting over the 20 MA. We have this more major triangle structure, and this that we broken back into, but we're not gonna count it because we had already broken out of that one. But we're gonna say that we are in this from this yellow line right here and this green line, right? It looks a little bit cluttered. I'm gonna get rid of this measure move, and I'm gonna get rid of the bands real quick, and I'll put them up again. Basically, we're in this major triangle. We said we could maybe go up and touch that top part. We haven't. We did say that we might come and touch this area as support, and we did. Let's see what's going on, right, on the 4 hours. I'll toss those Bollinger Bands up again, sorry. Not Bollinger Bands, sorry, the fib nodes. On the 4 hour, right, we found this low, right, and basically we wanted to go from low to high to determine where we would be, right? So we ended up retracing around to the 786 before we actually run up again. This was during today. And then if we go again, oh snap, that's a resistance I didn't want to move. If we go again and we actually shift it to where we're touching these new points, we'll see that we have retraced almost to the 786 again. However, get rid of that. We are making slant divergence, right? From here to here and then from here to here, basically. Bearish divergence. That is seeing us to price action to the downside. That's fine. Nothing we can do there. We actually were expecting that we were going to make bearish divergence from that new impulse because we did not have that much momentum going on, right? Even here, we would be making some sort of slant divergence. Anyways, on the 4 hours, sitting over that 20 MA, volatility open on the Bollinger Bands, momentum starting to neutralize, right? We might get a crossing of those MACD and signal line on the 4 hours. And we're sitting around 63 on the RSI, which puts us at bought, but not over bought territory. Let's look at it in the 1 hour. In the 1 hour, oh my god, what happened? The world went crazy, right? No, it didn't. Well, yesterday we developed some sort of bearish divergence, right? Led us to price action to the downside. Created some bullish divergence, right? Which led us price action to the upside. And now we are creating again bearish divergence again, right? So if we go from this high to this high, it's slightly up. But on the MACD line, if we go from here to here, right, we are making divergence, and we would also be making it from here to here, right? So divergence bearish on the RSI and on the MACD, price action to downside. We are seeing it play out right now. We're starting to see some kind of support happening around this area. Looking back, I'm not sure we've had support. Maybe we had some support in that zone. Let me see, Alt H. We seem to have had some. No, we actually don't. Maybe here some wicks, right? But anyways, we are starting to stagnate a little bit on the 1 hour. We make very little negative momentum. We might. I hope that we don't run up again because we might make some more bearish divergence, right? And that other bearish divergence will be from here to here, right? Anyways, that's it for Bitcoin right now. We are just making a new pattern, sort of flagging, if you want to call it, from this impulse up, consolidating a little bit, and we have to wait for a little bit more to develop before we actually call it something, right? But if during the day, if something starts to happen, we will basically say it. Wow, we did Bitcoin and we didn't do the Bitcoin articles. First time I actually skipped them. Anyways, onto the Bitcoin articles, right? Bitcoin is kind of going mainstream, but not in the way that we want it or the light that we want to have on it. In Australia, basically, some people kidnapped a Chinese student of 22 years old named Ji Jianwang on August the 23rd. Now, they requested the payment of $800,000 US in the form of Bitcoin. So the parents of the student had to pay 80 Bitcoin for him to be released. He was released. He's safe. He's back in China. That's fine. But I mean, it sucks what happened. It also sucks that Bitcoin is becoming the form of payment, right? It's traceable. I mean, yeah, they can put it into a mixer and maybe like clean it, right? But it really it sucks that it's getting this attention, right? Because it's gonna justify a lot of what people are saying, that yeah, Bitcoin is used by criminals. Yeah, we're seeing the case right now. I mean, it's not criminals only that use it, but I mean, this would certainly serve to drive that argument, right? And we'll see how it goes. I mean, anyways, guys, I have this other article. It says no all season until Bitcoin breaks 20K, says a hedge fund manager. I'm not going to go into it. I just wanted to have it up for discussion. I thought we were going to have more people on the live chat right now. Yeah. Anyways, if you guys want to discuss it, leave us a comment and we'll reply. Or if you are in the stream and you want to toss it up on the chat right now, let us know what you think, right? Do you guys really think that we're not going to see an all season until Bitcoin breaks 20K? I doubt it, but I'm not really sure. I mean, alts are acting really weird. Anyways, I also found this tweet by a rhythm trader, right? It says, by 2040, everyone under 30 years old will never know a world without Bitcoin in it. This is the only flipping I care about. Gold, 7.5 trillion. Bitcoin, 0.19 trillion, right? Once Bitcoin overtakes gold, each Bitcoin will be over $250,000. Yeah, when will that happen? We'll see. Anyways, I like that tweet. Like it for the first part more than the speculative part of it, but yeah, I do agree that maybe by a certain time, maybe I don't know if 2040, but everyone under 30 will never know a world without Bitcoin. Yeah, that would likely happen, right? Anyways, if you haven't done it, subscribe, hit that like button and that bell. It really means a lot to us that you guys are here and that you come here, right? So let us know what you think. Now on to Ethereum. The like the New York based VC firm or placeholder Joel Monegro drew a comparison by looking back at the beginning of the computer industry in the 60s and the 70s, and he stated that IBM was the leader of the pack despite having a number of competitors which poured funds into developing superior technology, right? Now he says that Ethereum could be compared to this since it's currently the world dominant smart contract platform, despite having a number of competitors offering faster and more scalable solutions, right, with better consensus models. And we have stated that Ethereum is having network issues. It's being clogged up, right? 90% of the Ethereum network is clogged up, making transactions more costly, right? Now, the current competitors, you could consider EOS, Cardano, Tron, Neo, Ethereum Classic, right, and others, right? We're not talking about price. We don't want to get into discussion of which one's worth more. We're just saying that, yeah, Ethereum is the IBM of the crypto market, right, for smart contracts. Now, this article goes on to say that IBM competitors did wonders for research and development, right, furthering the IT industry at the time, but throughout the huge distribution, marketing, and support network, IBM became the must-have computer system for enterprise world, right? And Ethereum is at that point, right? They are the main go-to for smart contracts. So until someone else overtakes them. But yeah. Anyways, onto the Ethereum chart. Ethereum chart on the daily dominance. Let's see how we're doing because we're probably losing dominance, right? Yeah, we are. What a surprise. Sitting at 7.26% dominance. Right now gaining a little bit, but yesterday it lost 1.36% dominance. Right now gaining 0.09%. The day's just starting. Man, it wouldn't surprise me if they lose dominance again still tomorrow, but we might see price action to the downside on Bitcoin, which will could let some of these coins gain dominance, right? We didn't say it. Price of Bitcoin, man, it's something I forget to say, but price of Bitcoin $10,562. Price of Ethereum $174.88, man. Let's see what's going on. On the daily, man, whoa, we broke out of this structure. We're back testing it. We didn't see that explosive move that we wanted to see. let's see. We are sitting up below the 20 MA volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. We're basically sitting at 0.02% down right now on the price, which is almost nothing from yesterday. We crossed around 2 days ago on the MACD and signal line, making positive momentum, but not very much. We're just following Bitcoin with the alts, like we've stated on basically every stream. We are sitting low at 38 on the RSI, which huge potential moves to the upside, right? But Bitcoin has to play ball, or people really got to get their monies into altcoins for this to start pumping. Otherwise, it's just depressing market for alts, right? Let's go to 4 hours. On the 4 hour, right, we went out, we back tested it. We are still outside of that downsloping wedge. We made slant divergence again, right, on the 4 hours, which is seeing us price action to the downside. We were high on the RSI, but not too high, which is fine. Right now we're sitting around 46, but we went to a 68. We never hit overbought territory, right? Which is a shame. Right now we're sitting below 20 MA volatility open on the Bollinger Bands, starting to make negative momentum. We just had a cross of the MACD and the signal line, basically around 10 hours ago, probably, or 8 hours ago. Anyways, onto the what are we gonna look at now? A 1 hour. On the 1 hour, sitting below 20 MA, volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. Not too open, but yeah, open enough that we can see some movements. We are starting to make bullish divergence, right? On the histogram, not so much on the MACD line. We had that crossing of the lines back at 5 p.m. yesterday. We haven't been able to cross them again. We almost did, but we just diverged again. That's fine. Are we making it on the RSI? Yeah, we actually are making a sort of bearish divergence on the RSI, which would be like Class C or Type 3, or basically weak divergence. Weak bullish divergence. But we are making a more stronger, like a Class A or Type 1 bullish divergence on the histogram and the actual price, right? So potential price action to the upside. We are seeing that we're starting to curve a little bit, right? We could maybe in the next couple hours see more action to the upside. However, in the more macro scales, we're looking at price action to the downside, at least in the 4 hours. Let's go on to Ripple. Ripple, man, they hired Ron Howard. That's pretty cool. Ron Howard was the former political advisor, and they hired him in an effort to basically boost the advocacy with lawmakers in Washington, D.C. That's pretty cool. Now, Hammond previously served as a legislative assistant for Warren Davidson, and he actually led the drafting of the Token Taxonomy Act, which accepted, didn't accept it. He attempted to bring in legislation giving cryptocurrencies clear legal standing in the U.S. The bill first introduced last year by Davidson and Darren Soto, and it's being reintroduced again in April 2019, but it seeks to exempt certain cryptocurrencies and other digital assets from the federal securities laws. Right now, we have talked about the Securities Act, and basically it was made in 1933, so it's really old, and it shouldn't be used for the framework to determine cryptocurrencies. Let's hope it's not. And anyways, Hammond's knowledge of security legislation may well come in handy for Ripple. As we know, they are being taken to court by basically holders of the XRP because it's being called an unregistered security, right? Let's see how that plays out for Ripple. Onto the chart. Let's go and look at that XRP chart. What is XRP doing right now on dominance? We probably lost dominance, guys. I mean, everyone's been losing dominance. Yeah, actually, we did lose dominance. Looks like it. Let's look at the daily, right? On the daily, yesterday we lost dominance, 0.99%. What a surprise right now, making dominance positive, 0.09. They're just starting, long way to go. Let's see how this holds up. Dominance sitting at 4.28. Anyways, price of Ripple sitting at 25 cents. To be exact, 0.25827. Now, what is happening with Ripple on the daily, right? We had that. Are we making it hidden? Push divergence, maybe. Nope. We just had that crossing of the signal lines. We're really not making any strong movements to the upside, which is a shame. We're within that downsloping channel. Volatility on the bond yield band starting to decrease, sitting below at 20 MA, sitting at 37 on the RSI. Broke out of that downsloping wedge. Not much has happened since. We actually made a smaller wedge that we traced. And now we're going to look at the 4 hour. So in the daily, it's just very weak. On the 4 hour, right, we are making some sort of another downsloping wedge. Last one we didn't break out with the strength that we wish we would have broken out of with. But anyways, we are seeing around 50 on the RSI, actually at 47. Starting to make that negative momentum. Had that crossing of the MACD and the signal line. And yeah, we're making a price action to the downside. That was expected, right? We made some sort of slant divergence on the 4 hour. And that's why we're seeing price action to the downside. We haven't been able to do anything to recover. That slant action noted, it was on the histogram, not on the actual MACD line. That's it for the 4 hours, right? Let's go on to the 1 hour. Ripple on the 1 hour. Yeah, we might be making some bullish divergence right from here to here. And from here to here. Oh, actually no, because we're not making a lower price. Sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the Ripple. Yeah, no, we would have to take that wick into consideration, right? Because we're actually using it for a structure as well. Anyway, sitting below that 20 MA, volatility closing on the Bollinger Bands, which is fine. We had that crossing happen 3 hours ago. We're seeing prices to downside, probably from that divergence that we talked about in the 4 hours. And sitting at 43 on the RSI. Let me see what's going on with Ripple. I'm trying to figure out something, right? If we were to ignore the wicks, right? We could be making that bullish divergence that we talked about. Right, which would be a Class B bullish divergence or a Type 2 or basically medium strength bullish divergence, which would be fine. I mean, it would also be developing on the MACD, right, which would potentially mean price action to the upside. Like I said, guys, this is how you want to interpret it, right? If we take the wicks into account, we're not making anything. If we want to take the wicks into account, then we have potential price action to the upside, but that's about it, and it's not even that strong. So that's what I'm seeing on Ripple right now. Like all the altcoins are just basically gonna follow what Bitcoin's doing, right? And we're not seeing the altcoins break yet because Bitcoin's still dominating heavily the market. Now we're gonna go into Litecoin dominance on the daily. Litecoin losing dominance yesterday, right? 2.03% down. Right now gaining a little bit, 0.17% up. Man, Litecoin sitting at 1.64% of market cap, which is almost nothing. It's very small. Litecoin price sitting at $67.09, right? What's going on, right? So we are in this upsloping channel still. We haven't been able to break out of it. Are we making something? Trying to see real quick. We might be making some sort of like, let me see, hidden bearish divergence, right? Which potentially mean price continuation. Sitting at 36 on the RSI. Not really much going on. We can also see that divergence on the RSI. Right, that's the same divergence that we drew on the histogram, and we could also see it in the signal line, right? That potential hidden bearish divergence developing. Now let's go on the. We're sitting at the 20 MA. We actually we were really close to touching it and rejecting. We are still in that upsloping channel. Let's go look at the 4 hours and see what's going on, right? On the 4 hours, we developed that same sort of No, actually, here we didn't. I think we're gonna have to look at it in the daily. For some reason, I drew this line throughout the day. Something was happening. Oh yeah, we had that divergence, but we had it on the RSI. Bearish divergence on the RSI and the price action. That's what we drew it. We are seeing that price action to the downside, putting us back into that upsloping channel, and actually gonna make it a little bit longer the way we had it, because that could have been, this was a false breakout, right? We didn't have any proper candle body closes outside of it in the 4 hours. Anyways, we are seeing around neutral at 49 on the RSI. I'm starting to make that negative momentum. We had that crossing on the histogram just 4 hours ago, or yeah, a couple hours ago, and sitting below at 20 MA volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. Right now, what we could see, go touch that bottom part of the channel and bounce off it. That'll be completely normal. Would give us a little bit more price action to the RSI on the downside, which would give us more room to run to the upside. And if we were to develop some sort of well, no, I don't think we would develop it. A kind of bullish divergence, and I'm not seeing it right now. Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now. Let's go on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, what's going on, right? So sitting below 20 MA, contraction of the Bollinger Bands, starting to make negative momentum, starting to decrease or neutralize itself. We might see a crossing of the MACD over the signal line, which could potentially bring price action to the upside. Sitting around 44.75 on the RSI. Trying to figure out what else is going on with this coin. Very slight. Very slight. You would really need to look at it real close, but these two, we have these two highs here on the MACD line, right? And we have these price action going higher and still making that. So we would be making a sort of Class C Type 3 bearish divergence, price action to a downside, and we did see it play out. It's weak, but we did see it play out. Anyways, I'm trying to figure out what else is going on with this market, right? I mean, right now, really, it's kind of boring, right? From here to here, we're also making, from here to here, we made some bullish divergence, right from here to here. Slanted bullish divergence, but we did make it. So potential price action to the upside, we did see it play out. Right now, potential price action to the downside. We are not seeing anything else because this just started to develop, right? Could neutralize itself, and then we might be able to see something else developing on Litecoin. But that's about it right now for Litecoin. On to the news for Binance. And yeah, Binance, right? These guys, man, the nerve. There's actually funny, awkward news, right? Like Binance came, not Binance, but BitMEX came out and accused them of basically plagiarizing their futures platform docs. They actually published the following via Twitter, right? And we're actually going to look at it. They say, congrats on the test net future launches at Binance. Glad to see you enjoy reading our documentation as much as we enjoyed writing it. People took to the to Twitter to make memes and some funny ones, right? Can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it a little bit so it doesn't look obvious, right? And then just a little bit. And then you need to work faster. You know, we had certain things happen. Then we're actually going to look at the tweet. Because Changpeng Zhao came out and played it like a champ, dude. He actually reverted the right way. He's basically accepting the error, right? Here's the tweet we just read, right? They're comparing the documents. They have some similarities. And he's basically, Changpeng said, shame on us. Sorry about that. Missed it in the DD process before the acquisition. Didn't read the BitMEX docs ourselves. We'll fix remove ASAP. The official docs of Futures A platform developed internally are here, right? And someone just like congratulated for owning the mistake, and he just said, you know, admit, apologize, fix, and onwards. And yeah, that's basically he played like a champ, right? He's admitting that they made a mistake, and he's not trying to hide it and like come out and say something stupid to make it look good, right? But you know, like, yeah, we made a mistake. Sorry, that's it. Point. Period. Let's move on to something else, right? And so will we. On today's bulletin, right? Binance research suggests that Bitcoin dominance will remain However, we might see it again drop to dominance to 60. They're not stating a time frame. They are stating in the document that we eventually believe that Bitcoin dominance will go back down to the 50% to 60% range. We still believe in this partly because Bitcoin dominance was below 60% for an extended period from May 2017 till June 2019. It has only been in the past 3 months so that Bitcoin dominance has shot up so dramatically, and the crypto world has found its way of making everyone feel like a prisoner of the moment, right? And they actually do say it down here, right in this area here. They are not saying when. They are saying that dominance will still stick around, right? Bitcoin dominance may stick around. And yeah, Bitcoin will still be dominant. They're not saying that it will stick around at 70%, but, you know, it will stick around. So something might happen. I mean, I'm expecting for the altcoins to kick the gears. I mean, they had some good bullish signs that have not played out. I mean, it shouldn't be that way. But anyways, you know, Max Kaiser forecasted the other day that alts will never come back. And I doubt it. I mean, I believe they have a place and they have a function, particularly a couple of them. Like we stated before, Binance has function right there, the coins for the exchange. Ethereum has function for the smart contracts, even though they're saturated right now and facing other problems. But Ripple also has a lot of potential, right? So, yeah, definitely those three could be good players, right? Anyways, let's look at Binance real quick and on the daily. Binance on the daily yesterday lost some dominance. What a surprise. Everyone losing dominance, right? 2.14% right now, losing dominance, 0.23. Did Bitcoin also lose dominance? No, I think Bitcoin gained it, right? When we stated, yeah. So money flowing out of the altcoins into Bitcoin. Not necessarily all the money flowing out of the altcoins. Some of the money could be flowing out into fiat or... and we already talked about that previously, so... You know, just because we see dominance go up doesn't mean that Bitcoin has to be taking that money, right? Still with that downsloping channel on the daily, sitting below 20 MA. Volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. Starting to make less negative momentum. We might get that crossing of the MACD over the signal line, which would be good. Potential price action to the upside. We've already talked about the bullish divergence that we have, and we just saw this minuscule push to the upside, right? We should see something a little bit better play out. But no, everyone's being so weak right now. Anyways, sitting at 32 on the RSI, too low. Almost at oversold. We have a lot of room to run to the upside on Binance. Man, if this crossing happens, potential... I hope we get some good green weeks, or some good green candles going up on Binance, right? Let's go on the 4 hour for Binance. Let's see what's going on. Sitting below at 20 MA, volatility open on the Bollinger Band, starting to contract a little bit. Starting to make negative momentum. Just had that crossing also of the MACD under the signal line. And we're seeing low on their side, but not too low at 41.747. Is there anything going on here? Higher, low. Yeah, we had some sort of like... I mean... It's going to look awkward here, but we had that bullish divergence, right? It's hard to see because we didn't make a negative momentum island, but we did make a lower low and we were making positive momentum. So it definitely would apply the same. Imagine if we would just be here at neutral, right? It would have been the same thing. That bullish divergence saw us to price action to the upside. Right now going down, but let me see this height. The height of this candle, no, this one's a little bit higher still. Height at 23.06 and height at 23.01. It's almost the same height. If we wanted to say that and making less negative momentum, we would be making slight divergence, right, from here to here, which would be bearish, and it would be a Class B or Type 2 or whatever you want to call it. We would also be seeing it on the RSI, right? About the same height and less. Lower on the RSI. Anyways, that's it for the 4 hour. Let's go on the 1 hour and see what's going on. On the 1 hour, sitting below at 20 MA, volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. Momentum, man, really going almost to nothing on both sides, positive and negative, right? We just have some like indecision going on the MACD, right? sitting low on the other side, but not too low at 40.9. And let's see what we're doing here, right? Definitely. I mean, it's very slight low, but it's low. And we would be from here to here, right? Yeah, to here. So bullish divergence on the 1 hour. We haven't seen it played up to prices to the upside. We might see some price action to the upside, and just keep it in mind. Might not be very strong, but we could see it. We come up here, touch that 20 MA, and then run from there. I mean, market has been really boring lately, except for Bitcoin, which saw some really nice pumps and has been maintaining them, right? But right now, like I said, Bitcoin could potentially be facing price action to the downside. We have seen exhaustion happening, right? Making that bullish, that bearish divergence. So yeah, I mean, ignoring this small point, or even considering it, right? Like we did, it's about the same height, and we're going slightly higher, and we would be also making that bearish divergence that we talked about, right? So that will be all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe. Soka, thank you for being here, man. You were a bit quiet. I wish you had some more questions, but we can always chat outside of this. Yeah, Sean Christian, Sarah Elizabeth, I miss you guys in the stream. I wish you guys were here. You certainly do come up with a lot of comments that make this more interesting. Or everyone that's in the chat, guys, you can feel free to chat whenever you want, right? If you're watching the stream live, toss us a comment. We'll be glad to have conversations going. Anyways, like we said, guys, thank you for watching. I'm glad that we picked up 2 new subscribers throughout the day. I hope that we can get this community going and growing, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. That'll be all.